This is the morning of opening day of youth turkey season here in Ohio, and I'm taking Ichabod out, or Isaiah, and we're going to try to hopefully shoot a tom.
Alright, well, we're set up in the blind. I'm trying to be careful with the light because I'm not sure where these birds are at or if there's any birds here even, but basically a snowstorm outside, which is terrible. It's 6:14 right now. Isaiah and I know you can't see me, but it's just getting light. Isaiah and I just had a tom gobble right behind us here, about 100 yards or so. Maybe a little bit more. So, we're pumped because we didn't know if there'd be birds back here, but there apparently are, so.
I see him right there.
Let them make sure their head sticks out. Just wait, don't let their heads line up. Sure. Just take your time. Make sure you're right on his head when you shoot. Get your safety off. Yeah. Just take your time.
Dropped him.
Rude.
Dropped him. Let's watch this.
Lord, may as well enjoy the show.
I shot him.
Perfect, dude.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Yes.
Oh, I got him. I got him. Oh.
Finally, we got a bird together, dude. I mean, it's taken long enough.
Oh.
Oh, good job.
Did you get on film?
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, it was perfect. Isaiah floored that thing. Nice little Jake. Opening day of Ohio's youth spring turkey season. So,
Man.
that was pretty sneaking sweet.
I just said he saw turkeys. I looked out the window. I just see this
I
body.
said, don't move. They
Dude,
just worked their way over and
suspense
shut
was
it in.
killing me.
And bam!
Alright, let's go get this joke here. Oh,
That's awesome. Floored him, dude. Good job. Oh, he did get hit. They shot and ruined my decoy. First things first. Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of a wild morning because they were roosted right here and we didn't know it. And I thought they had flown down and I actually called to them on the roost, which I don't like doing at all. They flew down, shut up. And then it was probably about 7 or so. We see 2 coyotes coming up the hill. And we knew the birds were back here, and the way they were coming, they were going to come bust the bird, and we didn't want that to happen. So I'm shaking so bad it's freezing out here. So I actually ended up crawling out the blind here, and crawled out and spooked them. Waited about 30 minutes, and I was just getting ready to pick up the slate. You know, about 30 minutes I hadn't called. I was getting ready to call a little bit more, and I see the backs of birds coming up the hill. So well, wasn't long after that as they cranked them. So I'm freezing. We're gonna pack up and hopefully get out of here without spooking a whole lot of other birds. So good job. Cheap turkey load. We used Longbeard XR. They pattern really tight.
They're great for backup.
For 20 yards, it's almost too tight. So we buy a cheap turkey load and then put 2 Longbeard XR behind it, just to give you that forgiveness. And then if you need to shoot further, you've got 2 rounds behind there that'll do the do. So, well, go get your bird, bring him over here. Let's get the decoys in and see what happens. Something I think is worth mentioning that I touched on in the video is shooting a cheaper turkey load as your first shot. Something I've had happen to me is having a turkey load that just patterns way too tight at close range. And that leads to some problems, especially when you got a bird, let's say at 20 yards like we did yesterday, or even closer. Your margin of error is way, way smaller, and it's very unforgiving. So something I've been doing for the past couple years, just buying a cheap turkey load. None in particular, really. This year I bought Federal Grand Slam number 6s. That load is way, way more forgiving than, let's say, Longbeard XR. Longbeard XR is a great load. A lot of people use it. because it has great long range capabilities, but at close range it's just too tight, and that's what I found with my gun. So what I do is I buy a cheap turkey load, I use that as my first shot, and then I buy some Longbeard XR and use those as my backup. I've had good success with this over the years. That's something I wanted to touch on that I think was important in killing this bird. In the footage, you actually see Isaiah shoots a little bit behind the bird's head, and despite that, because we shot a cheap turkey load, he was still able to make a clean, ethical kill shot, and the bird dropped instantly. Whereas if he would have been shooting Longbeard XR or some other really tight patterning round, he may have either wounded it or missed it.